Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So, today I have I would say, kinda unique story. I don't know if I've seen anyone else really ever say they've only went to one college party and then never again. But I've seen at least one person that I've seen through my recommended with Call of Duty commentary channels talk about how they've been to plenty of parties, drinking, smoking, doing all this other stuff. And I'll just say, I know for a fact I was never the kid to go out and party or do all this sort of stuff, and not really drinking under the age of when I was supposed to. But I do happen to have a singular story of the time that I went to college and went to one college party, and it was just a little much. So, for anyone who is familiar with Full Sail being the one college that at one point I believe completely advertised their game development, game design field specifically, if I remember correctly, a lot of that was advertised. I know they do film, they do a lot of like animation, it's a lot of software based stuff, but you can go over there and get whatever different kind of degrees that relate to more of a technical field. And I would say, other than that, I'll at least get into the story. It was just a for-profit college, pretty much, where you had a accelerated learning program over there. You just went in, you got your bachelor's degree in under 2 years, an associate's in under 1 year, and like a master's within three, I think, years. Because I know it was 10 months for an associate's, bachelor's was 20, and I believe master's was around 34, give or take. I'd have to double check. But besides that, I was in one of the beginning classes where you were essentially mandatorily taking a class that you had to go and do. I don't remember which class this was, but it was definitely one of those mandatory, you have to do this class or you would have to essentially retake it again. And I was working with a few of the guys that were over there, and we ended up chatting a bit. It was pretty cool hanging out and actually being able to go and sit in a class for a bit. And for anyone that's wondering, this was in 2017, if not near the end of 2017, since I graduated high school around that year. And within the same year, went to college for my bachelor's degree in game design, which I know some of you may or may not have seen some of the stuff on there relating to game design, or if anything, I also have like a playlist with unlisted stuff there too. If you want to check that out, go for it. But aside from that, I'll at least get to the sort of nitty gritty of the story. I was talking with him, and he ended up telling me that, hey, we're having this party over at this person's apartment, and gave me, the address and everything. I'm not going to say any of where specifically it was, but just pretty much know it was somewhere around the area. I was like, sure, why not? I mean, it'd be the first party I've ever gone to, but I'll absolutely, you know, try and be there and just give it a shot. And after that, time came and went, and pretty much the party was there. There was a whole lot of cars. I had enough space to park because I believe I was there kind of early. So I went ahead and just went up to the door of the person's hotel, or not hotel, the apartment, and it would have been really weird if it was a hotel. The apartment was definitely not too bad looking, but I would say once I essentially started and just made my way in, I believe I was immediately met with just alcohol and essentially the scent of vapes, which, funny enough, there was heavy amounts of vaping. I didn't see any drugs at all being used from my perspective, at least, because I'll be honest, I didn't stay that long. I'm sorry to the person who was, the one that invited me over there. I think I only saw him maybe once or twice, and I don't know where he was after that, because I went in, I was trying to find a spot to really be at. I was just walking around, uh, and then one point a little before I ended up, I don't know if I was like next to like a closet. It was a little weird how that even happened to begin with. I don't know what caused it, but I just know the longer and longer I stayed, the more people that came in and the more amount of vapes that were being used inside of that apartment was definitely getting straight to my head and was absolutely about to give me a headache. If not, I already had a headache when that actually happened, but I ended up getting out of wherever I was at, ended up trying to sort of, in a sense, sneak away towards the front door, went ahead, opened up the door, and went ahead, closed it behind me, and tried to essentially sneak away. There was nobody outside. I didn't really have anyone standing outside, and no one really ever wondered if I left or not. I was just at that point of, yeah, I think that's about it. I'm not sticking around to have a whole bunch of vaping and just alcohol pretty much everywhere. And considering the fact that I was 18 as well at the time, I really couldn't have been drinking. I just was there to at least try to have a good time, and just seeing more and more people coming in and the more amount of vapes that were being used, it definitely started giving me a headache, and the music as well was getting a little crazy. I didn't go anywhere. I just know I was in like the one main area, which was like the living area. There was like the bedroom, there was the kitchen, and some other little space somewhere that was definitely different than what my apartment was. But it was getting crowded very quickly, and I just wanted to leave. And as soon as I left, I was like, alright, I don't think I'm ever gonna go to a party, whether it's like that or anything, ever again. I know subsequently I've been to different kinds of parties, but it mainly involved drinking and a little bit of other stuff, but this was the only college party, really, that I ever went to. Hence the title of the video was the only college party I ever went to. I have gone to subsequent ones where it was just a lot less people, and a lot more of just hanging out and doing whatever other goofy shit that we normally do. And other than that, the other ones were fun. It was just that one was just a lot of people that I didn't know, and having vaping essentially getting so bad that I could smell the different amounts of those, like, scents. I forgot exactly how to word it, either like flavors or whichever that's being used. It's just everywhere inside of the apartment. It was all essentially fogged up to where you could barely see not even 5 feet in front of you. So that was at that point that I said, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm not coming back. And I think since then, I know I didn't have class with that person ever again because they were in a completely different field than I was. But it was definitely an odd experience for me to be in that college party, and it was just something I was absolutely not prepared for, and I never wanted to participate in again. I just would rather be with people that I already knew, or at the very least, not have so many people there. Like, they could invite however many people that they would need that they know, like a friend of a friend or something, but not like inviting people to a college party and it being just a bunch of random people that come in, whether sure it would probably be a friend of a friend, but it would be the friend of a friend of a friend or any of that went on. I was definitely not having it, and that was really the end of it. I just ended up leaving, going home, and was like, yeah, let's not do that again. And ever since then, I mean, there wasn't anything else noteworthy aside from being able to hang out and meet different people over in that college campus, because it was really nice being able to meet some of the people over there. I still have connections with some. I just haven't gone and did much reconnecting with, because I know they've got their own stuff going on. I've had my own stuff going on, and it was overall it was just a really good experience for me, in my opinion. Before, of course, by the time uh, 2020 hit, everyone already knows what happened there. But I graduated 2019, probably one of the last few college days that were seemingly normal before things ended up going a little crazy, which probably an understatement, but I'm not here to talk about all of that. It's just whatever experiences and stuff that I had. And if you feel like listening, awesome. And if you also ended up reaching the end of this, thank you so much. I just thought doing some sort of story time would definitely lead to just hopefully leading people to understand me just a little bit better than how I normally would be just behind the screen, or essentially just another YouTube personality, quote unquote, that doesn't have any sort of sense of what can be done through YouTube that can be, shown off, or something that people probably, if they never ever got to talk about with me, would probably never know. And I think at the very least, just putting that out there, that'll probably just help people understand just a little bit better of how I kind of normally am and operate, and just give a sense of just genuine feelings to show for it. And yeah, other than that, that's really all I have to talk about with the only college party. So if there's really any other things that you guys probably would want me to talk about, feel free to talk about it, or at the very least, I could add it to one of the list of topics because I have quite a bit to talk about, and having a little bit of extra gaps within there, it should be pretty easy to spread them out for a little bit from time to time, and you'll be able to see what I have. And yeah, that should be it. But thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.